Welcome back to the 2015-2016 NBA preview. Today we're going to be covering the 7th ranked team, the Memphis Grizzlies, which are the 6th seed we have in the Western Conference. My name is Josh, your Enviers, and today with me as usual.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? It is the one and only legend of winning, aka Low. We're back. Number 7, Memphis Grizzlies, a personal favorite of mine. But let's get into it, man.
Let's take a look at what the Memphis Grizzlies did leading up to this season.
Memphis Grizzlies, a team that goes underneath the radar, quite honestly, with a lot of players and people around the NBA and fans. A team that seems as if they get no credit, but actually, if you look at the track record, they are extremely coached. They're extremely well coached, and they are a team that is extremely close to making that next push year in and year out.
If only they were in the Eastern Conference. If only.
In where they should be, but that's another, that's a whole nother debate for another time. This is a team, though, however, that ends up losing to the Thunder 7 games. I want to say 3 times in the past 4 or 5 years. Loses to Golden State last year, who ended up winning it all.
Gets swept by Spurs in the Western Conference Finals a few years back as well.
Western Conference Finals, I think people don't understand. They actually made it to the Western Conference Finals and ended up losing to the Spurs, who I guess, but the biggest splash they did make was bringing back Marcus Gasol, which I don't know why people thought he was leaving, but people like the Knicks and Lakers want to, keep their fan base dreaming.
With that said, let's take a look at the summer acquisitions made by the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies acquired Brandon Wright and Matt Barnes. That's really about it.
I like both of the players. I'm a huge
decent
Matt Barnes fan. Hopefully he's not starting, though. Matt Barnes should be at a point in his career where he's not starting. And Brandon Wright, I actually love him coming off the bench. He's this new age big man. Nice, tall, slender, run up and down the court, give you those easy buckets, pick and roll. He's going to give you that. He's going to aid you in the spacing, especially when they have a bench that tends to struggle offensively from time to time. He will most definitely aid them in some type of direction and some type of organization in that realm. So,
as for what they lost John Lure, Nick Kalathis, and Kosta Koufos. As for the rookies, they got Andrew Harrison, who I like, and Jarrell Martin. Andrew Harrison was drafted by the Phoenix Suns in the 2nd round, then was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. So I like that. I really do. He was the guy with Kentucky, and he deserved to at least be a first rounder. But unfortunately, I guess the draft is all about potential rather than what you can produce now. Now let's take a look at the rotation. We have Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, and I'm assuming, they didn't get Jeff Green for nothing. I'm gonna put him in that starting small forward rotation. And then we have Tony Allen and Mike Conley.
Jeff Green starting. Jesus Christ. Do not start Matt Barnes.
Let's take a look at the bench. We have Brandon Wright, Jarnell Stokes, Matt Barnes, and then Courtney Lee and Beno Udrih. That seems like a decent rotation out the bench.
Matt Barnes or Jeff Green at any point could actually flex at the power forward position, and it can help them flex it out and then put Vince Carter in the backup small forward position. For years, that was their biggest issue, in my opinion, that they had nobody to actually that they could flex at power forward. So they end up playing a zone defensively when they played smaller guards and smaller rotations and smaller lineups with other teams. That right there, having a small forward rotation that is literally 3 men deep and 3 men that are extremely flexible and they can be extremely efficient and they're going to produce as well. That's the biggest difference in my opinion.
Jeff Green hasn't really been producing. I don't know what's happened to him.
He was only there for half a season though, right?
Here's hoping he's able to turn it around and, have a great full season with this team. Moving on to the question.
We are finally in the top 10. Well, we've been in the top 10 at this point. If you don't know, you need to start watching more videos and keeping up. But if you don't know, top 10, the question that I will always ask for now until we get to the number 1 spot. And of course, you, the viewer, please leave a comment in the comment section below. But will the Memphis Grizzlies win it all? And if they will, and if they do, why will they? And if they don't, why won't they, Josh?
Here's why the Memphis Grizzlies will win it all. They added a lot of key pieces that hopefully will push them over the top in Matt Barnes. He's not a great small forward, but he knows his role, and hopefully he can hit those corner threes when they matter most. They also have guys like Jeff Green, Vince Carter. They really are, in my opinion, getting that shooting small forward really down now. Here's hoping that, this whole team is healthy during playoffs. But here's the reason why they will not win it all. Just because the fact that They play in the West. The West is a lot more difficult. If they were in the Eastern Conference, they'd really put up a fight. They surely would, but unfortunately, this is the Western Conference, and unfortunately, they're not probably going to have home court just because of the fact that it is the West. All these games are most likely going to be close and very, very, position switching. You could either drop from 3rd seed to 6th seed with one loss or one win. So I that's why I feel like they will not win.
I feel like they will win because, again, like what Josh said, their pickup at the small forward position, I think the flexibility in the rotation with their forwards is obvious, and they have players that will go out there and play their role. Matt Barnes he's scrappy, he's feisty, he understands what he's supposed to do and what he brings to the court, and I love that as a whole. And everybody understands that, and nobody doesn't step over their boundaries, and that's why this unit works in a vacuum. Why they won't win though? It's also because they are in the West, and that's no argument there. The biggest reason why I don't think this team will ever win is because, and I know people aren't going to say it, but it's because of, oh man, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. It's because of Marc Gasol. It's because of Marc Gasol. I think for the past 2 or 3 years they've been like really looking for offense, and it's like Marc Gasol should be that guy, right? And even though I understand he's there for defensive purposes and things like that, but eventually Zach Randolph isn't going to be able to put up, the 16, 17, and 10 points that he'll be able to continue to put up. Marc Gasol at some point in his career needs to put up 20 points. He needs at some point grab 10
is that traditional anymore for big men to do that?
I think 20 and 10 isn't asking for much though. Zach Randolph is like 33, still grabbing 10 rebounds. Marc Gasol can't even do that, and he's like 7 feet tall. Like I'm confused to why they don't hold Marc Gasol to a certain standard. If I'm asking Marc Gasol,
maybe this season might be that season. You got a big contract.
It should be that season, but if I'm just asking, and especially because of the contract he received.
He had a great season last year, so hopefully he improves on it.
17 and 8 though. 17 and 8 is a great.
That was almost 20 and 10.
Nah, you can't round. You can round up. We gonna run up on both of them. And don't get me wrong, people. I understand he's there for defensive purposes and all the analytics and all that stuff. I understand all that, but just sheer like, yo, you don't grab 10 rebounds, you don't put up 20 points. Like that's a lot. Also, Mike Conley, he seems as if he has a cap offensively. It seems like he reached a certain level and he can't hit that next gear yet, especially with point guards, but. Unfortunately, like Josh said, they do play in the West, so even if all of that does piece together, it's still going to be hard for them to make it pretty deep in the playoffs.
Moving on to the quick predictions surrounding the Memphis Grizzlies.
Predictions, I love this team. I really and truly do wish they go to the finals. I do want to see this team go to the finals. 3 years ago, literally one series removed from it, but the teams in the West, especially the top teams in the West, they just keep
the top tems. Yeah, they got a lot better than they were last year.
And it's just ridiculous. So because of that, I don't really see them going too far. They're always
depending on who they go against. Depending on who they go against, they might be a first round exit or they might make it to the second round. But it's gonna be tough. It's always tough in the Western Conference.
But they're always that team where you're like,
they're always consistent, and that's what you gotta love about them.
But nobody doesn't want the Memphis Grizzlies first round though. Like nobody doesn't.
No,
nobody does. Like that's like annoying. Like Jesus Christ, we gotta play.
That's like the Clippers and Spurs last season.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jesus Christ, we gotta do for the first round. Really, Jesus.
So with that said, we'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you could like this video, subscribe, and share it with anybody you know, it'd be greatly appreciated. A lot of time and work is put into this, so like I said, would be greatly appreciated.
Yo, shout out to everybody who watches the videos, all the support and love that we get, the comments. We see y'all in the comment section, and please keep watching. Subscribe. 30 videos in 30 days. We're almost done. And if you disagree with the Marc Gasol thing, I completely understand, but just put it all in the comment section below.
No, they will.
Yeah, they will. They will. And we'll see y'all next video.
Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.